Oh God, new things again? Okay, new managing moderators can support your channel in even more ways. Introducing managing moderators. These users have the same capabilities as standard moderators, but in addition, they can manage blocked words and change chat modes in live. Okay, I had to learn more. No, just close this. I don't care. Go away. All right, is it started yet? Man, I kind of want YouTube to stop adding features and changing things. I don't know what's going on. I just want it to work. Okay, anyway, hopefully this is working now. So I was just going to talk about some silly stuff. Last week I was mentioning that sometimes, I think it was last week, sometimes, you get problems that seem like they're kind of like hopeless. And then if you poke around, a lot of times you find out that things aren't as hopeless as they seem. And I just had one of these experiences. So last week I was thinking, you know what? There's something I want to 3D print because I want to make this invention. But my 3D printer is not available for functioning because about 2 months ago, I turned on my drafting computer. Now I always keep two computers. I keep one that goes online and one that does not go online. So the online one, the one where I edit videos and upload them and check my email, do all that kind of stuff. And then the one that never goes online, that one has all like drafting programs. It has a lot of like just programs installed for doing things like computer drafting and stuff like that. So my offline computer, my drafting computer, I turned it on a couple months ago because I was like, I think I'm going to 3D print something. I'm going to design something, blah, blah, blah. And I turned it on, just didn't work at all. It starts up, and it's like, yeah, this hard drive doesn't work. And I'm just like, crap. So I fiddle around with it for a little bit, but pretty soon I'm just like, forget it. I just turned it off, ignored it for like 2 months, knowing there's a pretty good chance I'm just going to have to get a totally new hard drive or whatever. Anyway. So last week I was like, all right, I gotta actually deal with this because I want to use my 3D printer and I want to print something and I have some ideas of a thing I want to make and I want to draw it in the CAD program, but I need the CAD program to work and blah, blah, blah. So there was a rainy day a few days ago. So I was like, all right, can't do any work outside. This is the day. So I started the computer again. Yeah, dead, nothing's working. So I take the hard drive out of there, put another hard drive in, and it doesn't have all the drivers or anything, but it should start the computer at least. And the computer starts, so I'm like, all right, the computer works. The hard drive is the problem. So I take the broken hard drive, and I don't want to switch to this other hard drive because this one that's the dead one has all this stuff. That I want to use because it's the one I was using to 3D print stuff before, and a bunch of those parts are going to apply to what I want to do. But I want to try to save this thing, or at least get some stuff off it. But it's not looking good. So I take it and put it in my external hard drive reader, plug it into another computer, my good computer. And that one tells me, this hard drive is unreadable and needs to be formatted. And I'm just like, oh, crap. But I'm like, wait. Before we go formatting this thing and just giving up and restarting from scratch, let me just go online. Maybe there's somebody who's been troubleshooting, maybe, I don't know. So I go online and I just go on YouTube and type in, hard drive won't read. And, there was a little message that came up with the thing. And I was like, type that message in. And this guy with his video comes up and he's like, well, probably, there's a good chance the hard drive just has a mechanical problem, in which case it's toast. But if it's a software issue, there's a couple things you can try. And I'm like, all right, let's try these things. And the first thing comes up, he's like, all right, run a command prompt as the administrator. I'm like, all right, click administrator. And then type check disk. And I'm like, okay, let's put some check disk and that drive. And then /F/R/R/F, something like that. And then push enter. And I'm like, all right, I got nothing to lose. So I do that and push enter, and it starts doing stuff to the hard drive. And I'm like, hey, Windows, you just told me this thing was unreadable, and now you're doing stuff to it. Anyway, it took like all day. I don't know, like 5 hours or something. But when it was finally done, going through all this huge list of stuff, the hard drive totally works. So I take it out, put it in my computer, totally works. So yeah, that was weird. So that was a perfect example of one of those situations where it was like it just, from all initial evidence, it seemed like this thing is toast. But it turned out all I had to do was check disk FR and it fixed it. Anyway, so yeah, there's a thing I want to build. Well, someone's going to ask, so I may as well tell you. It's I want to make a wind-up fan. You know, like a wind-up fan, so I could and have a fan blowing. But I want it to go for a long time. You know, like hours, preferably. I mean, I'll have to get a bigger wind-up spring for that. But I have like a seatbelt spring, which is, you know, it's a pretty good little coil spring that I should be able to get a decent amount of time in a fan going if I can design it to be really efficient and work really well. And I want that because, you know, a lot of times it's hot in the evening when I go to bed, but then it cools off a little bit after I go to bed. So if I had a wind-up fan that would go for like an hour or something, by the time it stops, it's just cooled off and everything's comfortable and cool, right? And then I could make one for each of my kids, and they could each crank up their little fans and have like a little fan to blow on them when they're going to sleep. Anyway, I think they'd be cool. So I want to design that and make it. Oh, what else is going on here? I don't know, just stuff. Here's another thing that I've been. I don't know what I've been thinking about this a little bit recently. So, you know how there's all this stuff about what you're supposed to eat and how you're supposed to eat and when you're supposed to eat, and there's so much stuff about what you're supposed to eat on the internet telling you what you're supposed to eat all the time. Well, I have kind of a experience that I'm going to share, and I have no scientific data to back this up at all, but I've been eating like pretty much the same thing like every day for, I don't know, like 6 months or something. And again, I have no scientific evidence to back any of this up, but what it feels like is my body has gotten used to what I'm eating and digests it super easily. So I'm just wondering if there's something to eating the same thing all the time, and then your body can just get used to like kind of get set up for that food, and then it handles it really easily, you know? Not that I every once in a while I eat something else. I don't like start vomiting or dying or anything, but it's just like, it just seems like if I eat the same thing all the time, it just like it's really, things go smoothly, you know? Anyway, I don't have a ton to talk about today. Yeah, let's move into comments here. Someone might have some questions that might spark something. Hey, I finally got to a live one. Ooh, Slarty Barfist. What's going on, man? Howdy, brother builder. This came at the perfect time for me. I always get so much motivation from these. Excellent, Sire Panfried. You guys have the best names. Wait, let me turn up my brightness a little bit. All right, there we go. Hit that like button, please. Where? I don't have a like button. Why? How? I don't know how to do that. Okay, how about a gravity-powered fan? Ooh, I want to do one of those too. Yeah. So I was. So often in the evenings, I put on like an electric fan, and you know it's not the worst solution, but every once in a while one of those dies. And I just have to get another one because they're, you know, I use these little computer fan kind of things, and they have the brushless motors in them with all the electronics, and it's, you know, it's like a black box. You can't just get in there and fix it. So I kind of wanted to make a fan that I could turn on at night, not be thinking this is using electricity when I'm not getting any. And yeah, the two ideas I came up were, well, actually, originally I wanted to do a weighted one, because I have like a 4-story building, right? Like I could have a pulley all the way up at the top roof with a weight that goes all the way up there. And then, I mean, that thing would go for hours. I could have it go all night. But then it was like, I had an idea of how to make it really efficient, but it won't work with that, but it will work with spring. So I want to make a spring-loaded one. but I'll probably also do, a weighted one after at some point. Yeah. I just got a message on my computer that either I have to switch from Windows 10 to Windows 11 or my computer will not be protected by Windows anymore soon. I feel betrayed by them. Oh, you know what? Oh, screw them, man. Just keep running your Windows 10 and don't go on any questionable websites. I have Windows 7 on my advanced computer, the one that goes online and everything. My other computer, the one that I have all the CAD programs on, and things like that, it's Windows XP. And to get some of those programs to run, I had to set the date like a decade ago. I think I set it longer, 20 years ago or something, because some of these programs, it's so annoying. Like you buy the program, but then it's like you don't really own it. It just turns off after a certain date. So I go to load one of these CAD programs, and it's like, this is expired, sorry. And I'm like, so I go to the date in the computer, set it back a few years, and it's like, oh, okay, now I can work. So yeah, don't let them force you to upgrade this crap. I hear they do this with video games too, which is so low. It's so low. And I saw a meme, about it. I'm not really super into memes or anything, but this one made me chuckle. Someone was saying that if it was about video games, if buying isn't owning, then pirating isn't stealing, and can't really argue with that. Like if you're gonna buy a video game, and then the video game company is going to say, yeah, you don't really own that. That's not yours now, even though you bought it from us. Yeah. Yeah, this whole obsession with with subscriptions is really irritating. Like if I'm buying a computer program and they want me to upgrade it, they should have to make a version that's better enough that I want the new version. Don't just force me to get the new version. Yeah, this whole Windows thing you're talking about. Like, why do you have to switch to Windows 11? Like, I consider going from Windows 7 to Windows 10 a massive downgrade. So I think the only reasonable way to actually have someone upgrade things is to actually have it be a true upgrade, like make it actually better. But that's not how our world works today anymore. It's like, now you just have to bend over and take it up the butt because they want to make more money. So they're like, well, we're going to just plan obsolescence this, put an expiry date on it, or put whatever thing that forces you to get the new one, even though it's not better. Oh, so annoying. No, the only way you should ever be upgrading is if you were actually upgrading and you're like, wow, this is so much better. I'm actually gonna get the new thing. Yeah. That's how it used to be. Like video games, when there was like a 1 and then a 2, like Doom 1 and Doom 2. Doom 2 was good and it had a couple extra things. It was like, whoa, it's worth paying the the $5 or whatever it is to get Doom 2, even if you have Doom 1, But now they're just like, yeah, you have to get the new thing because we say so. Oh, I hate that crap. Brian, what's up? My cats eat the same bag of dry cat food every day and they are okay. That's a good point. That's something I've thought about before, is that, like dogs and cats, like pets, they'll eat the same thing every single day. And, they're not like dying, even though, it just seems a lot of times like the way we're taught to eat is that you need to have all this variety every day. You need something new and something different, and I don't think you do, man. That doesn't even make sense historically speaking. Historically speaking, like people would eat the same thing. It's not like that we did not evolve in a world that had just like global transportation. So there wasn't like just food going all over all the time. You ate what was local and what was ready, and you ate that for months. Yeah. Anyway, Let's see. The last time you ran, how many minutes around your island did you run? Did you wear your vest? I don't know. I haven't run the path in a while. Oh, you know why? It's because, a couple months ago, I don't know if it was when it was, I was talking about my strained calf. And I kept like going back to running kind of too soon. And then, after a few weeks or months or whatever, I would strain it again. Well, I set myself on a 12-week do not strain your calf no matter what plan. So I've been doing a lot of calf exercises and stuff, but I have not been doing much running. And I think I'm on I have like a sticker over there on a thing, and every Monday I move it to a new spot. I think I'm on I don't know, like week 9 or something like that. So yeah, I haven't been running. I've been doing a lot of like calf muscle and leg strengthening kind of rehabilitation stuff to try to make sure that when I do start running again in a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, that I'm not gonna, re-injure something. Because years ago, I used to run like all the time, like every morning, every evening. I'd run multiple times a day, like hard, and never have any problems. So I want to get back to that because that was nice. That was great. So yeah, it was a while ago the last time I ran around the thing. Well, no, I've gone around with like my 3-year-old a couple weeks ago, but I don't know, that doesn't count. She doesn't go that fast. She goes fast for a 3-year-old, but dude, let's face it, your mud grabbing claw on your boat is not really efficient and feasible, right? Why isn't it? I think some kind of vacuum sucker would be the way to go. I think you had something like it already. Well, I think you're being a little bit of a dick. Let's face it, your thing doesn't work. I think that's a question. I think you should be asking a question, not like coming at me, like jumping in my face and like, it doesn't work, let's face it, man. Like that's kind of rude. But I'm gonna pretend maybe you were just trying to be funny. So actually the mud grabbing claw is great. I like the mud grabbing claw a lot. Much more than the sucker device that I made. And here's the reason. The mud sucker device I made, it has to suck a lot of water, right? Like a lot of water. It has to have a lot of liquid going through it, or it doesn't work. Like the stuff won't flow unless a lot of water is coming with it. It's very muddy, but there's a lot of water. With the mud scooper, the thing, I can get mostly like fairly solid muck. I mean, it's not like solid, but like I could pick up a handful of what I get in there and dump that. And even, in the last video, even when I was getting water with it, like I was purposely trying to get more water so it would actually kind of flow into the thing. Even then, it was way more solid than what I could do with the mud sucker. And in terms of the volume of material I can move, the mud sucker definitely does not win. Like one scoop maybe I'd have to really compare them, but like the mud sucker, it flows, but like filling up that scoop, that would take a while. Plus it's not got nearly as much solid material. And if I'm not talking to the camera or hanging out with my kids, I can do the scoops pretty quick with the scooper thing. Another thing is the mud sucker machine, it was messy. Almost all of the muck went in the right direction and went in the right place. But, there'd be little squirts here and there. And after I was done sucking some mud with that thing, the back of my boat would just be like, just a mess. With the grabber scooper thing, all the muck is way out at the end of the thing. It doesn't get in my boat. I'm not getting it all over myself or all over the boat. It's just such a way more pleasant thing. So, dude, let's face it, no. The answer is no. The 3D printer for making gears is so slept on. The 3D printer for making gears is so slept on. I don't know what that means. It probably means something. Oh, you know what? I should mention about my computer. So I always have two computers going, right? The one that goes on the internet, and then the one that's offline that has like the drafting program and stuff. The one that goes on the internet, I've had that one for like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years. And I got it from one of you guys. There's a guy who, I don't know if he's here right now, probably not, but he has a computer company called Tech Tough or Tough Tech. I think it was Tech Tough. Anyway, they have a Black Cobra sticker on their computers, and they refurbish what are they, Panasonic Toughbooks, and then resell them. They do a great job, and that thing has been great. I have had no problems with it. So I just and he gave that to me for free. So I just want to say thanks, man. So yeah, that was super, and I highly recommend their computers if anyone is looking for a laptop that's gonna last. Super happy with it. Let's see. The 3D printer for making gears is so slept on. I don't know what that means. I feel like there's something in there, but anyway. Steven says, just saw the claw build. What's the goal? Are you digging out your channel at the new island similar to the first island? The first island, man, that canal is amazing. It's huge. I was looking at it the other day, being like, wow, I can't believe how much work I put into that. But anyway, so I've got a canal here that I drive the boats in and out, and I really like having the canal situation, because most people have like land and then a dock sticking out and then their boat parked beside it, or sometimes they have a boat lift. But most boats, they're just parked at a dock, like just sticking out from the land, and people get their boats stolen. It's not as much of a problem around here, but like closer to town, there's a lot of boat theft. And what happens is someone will sneak up in the middle of the night, cut the rope, drift away with the boat, take the motor off, and then just set the boat adrift. People usually get the boat back, but then their motor's gone. And people don't steal the boats because the boats all have different paint jobs and they're recognizable. But the motors, like a 40 horsepower Yamaha outboard, they're everywhere. So these people just steal that, and they'll have a warehouse somewhere. Not a warehouse, it's just like in someone's house or whatever, some ghetto house. Or it'll be like 100 of these motors, and they're all the same, and they're just scratching off serial numbers and reselling them. And there's a whole racket going. But I sleep very well with my boats like up this long canal parked in here, because no one's coming in here to steal it. I mean, it's such a huge deterrent. Like, you have to come all the way in, and then you have to be able to get all the way out. So it's like, it's not like just cutting a line and taking off. Plus, none of my boats can just zoom right out. It's thin enough, you kind of got to maneuver. You can't just zoom. There's no quick escape if you steal one of my boats here. And anytime I'm coming home and it's getting low tide, and I have to grab the trees on the side to pull the boat in because the boat's kind of rubbing on the bottom, I'm always like, I'll take a little inconvenience for being able to sleep at night knowing no one is stealing my boats. Anyway, but every once in a while it's good to scoop the muck out of the canal, because over time, leaves fall in it and stuff washes into it. It slowly accumulates crap, and then you need a higher tide to get in and out. So just cleaning that out, basically. That's all I'm doing right now. Ooh, have you seen the video where people explore your former property in New England? I have heard about many videos. I haven't really watched any, because I don't know. It's like, once I sold the place, I just put it behind me and forgot about it. And that was a very conscious decision, because like I put my heart and soul into that place. It's a place I loved, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see what other people are doing with it. You know, yeah. Like once I sold it to someone else, I don't want to know what they're doing with it. I just moved on and kind of forgot about the place. But yeah, I hear that it's getting more views now than when I lived there. Wendy says an old Clockwork fan. Dang, that is cool. Yes, an old Clockwork fan. Yeah, they used to make these like 100 years ago, right? And you could buy this thing and crank it, and it would run for like half an hour. Yeah, that kind of stuff is awesome. I wish I could find one. I wonder if I could find one. Not find it, but like, you know, if I go on eBay or something, they're probably like expensive because they're, oh, it's an antique. I have to, since I'm going to be 3D printing it, you know, the parts won't be as efficient as, you know, like the old brass geared ones. So I need to design it really efficient. And I have a design for that. So anyway, Windows 10 has horrible indexing. I wish 7 could run VR. Oh no, I guess I'm never getting VR. Our bodies need variety. We don't always know what we're deficient in. Your body knows what it needs. Give it some of everything and it will decide what to use. I don't know. I don't think I need that much variety. Yeah, I think that's, I kind of think that's an old wives' tale. No, I think it's a marketing technique. I think that's what it is. Because if you think about how we evolved, we did not evolve with this huge variety of food available to us all the time. Like we evolved with like very, very small selections of food. Like the people will go long periods of time when it was like, you have corn and you have beef and that is it. You know, and I mean, that's how people live. That like we evolved in that kind of situation. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are certain things like the thing I think about is salt. But I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe if you don't eat a lot of salt, you end up sweating less salt and not needing as much. I eat a lot of salt because, you know, I'm always, you know, this is why I'm usually not wearing a shirt, because I'm in a tropical place. It's warm. I'm always doing this work outside and stuff. I sweat a lot. Man, I sweat like right through my clothes most days. And yeah, I end up eating a lot of salt. But I'm wondering, like, what if I just didn't eat that much salt? Would my body adapt to it? I don't know. Anyway, I'm definitely not an expert on this whole food thing. So don't take anything I say too seriously. Captain Skellabone says it's not stealing if the original still exists. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, if you buy a video game and then you copy it for free, you know, that's kind of stealing. Not saying I've never done it, but I would consider it stealing. Arr, pirates. Windows 10 looks much worse. I miss the Aeroglass aesthetic 7 had. You know, my favorite one was Windows 3.1. Oh, Windows 3.1 was so nice. Like Windows 3.1, you just turned on the computer and bleep, it was there. It just, now it's like you turn on the computer, you gotta wait like 4.5 hours for it to like, progress bar, Windows, symbol. No, let's go back to the progress bar. It's like, oh, loading. Okay, not 45 minutes, but like, man, when it used to just like pop up, and like on slow computers too. And I gotta admit, I still have a thing for DOS. I like DOS. Like that was cool when you could just turn a computer on and like, bloop, it was just on. You just get your command prompt like that, and you could type in your thing and go. All these frills. I don't need all the frills. Good to reserve the body sometimes. Good to hear it. You continue to inspire me to do workouts. Excellent. Yeah. Could you make a big pile with the corkscrew in it that collects the muck? Oh, a big pipe. Sorry, I read that wrong. Could you make a big pipe with a corkscrew in it that collects the muck? I've definitely thought about that. I've thought about like 100 different ways to do this. So far, the fastest way I have to scoop the muck out of the canal is to just jump in there with buckets and like put the buckets up on the side. The worst part is climbing out and back in. So if I have someone else doing it with me, dumping the buckets, it goes pretty fast. However, I'm standing in muck, you know, like up to my waist in muck. It's not the best. So yeah, I'm at the moment I'm enjoying the manual crane thing. Like I'm still in the phase where it's fun to use. So I haven't really done it that much though. So yeah, let me go all the way up and down the canal and clean out the whole channel with it. And then I'll see how I feel about it. But you know, at the moment it seems to be pretty good. Nobody wants to use a machine called a mud sucker. Why not? I would. I used a machine called a mud sucker. Why wouldn't anyone want to use a machine called a mud sucker? Some people are totally into weird stuff, you know. I don't know. Hans says, wasn't trying to be a dick. It just seems so labor intense, slow to use the mud claw. Yeah, but the thing is, like, you see a few minutes of video and it doesn't really translate very well to this is one of the things that you know, it's hard to really convey the reality of a situation with like a quick video, even a long video. Because unless you're actually there and doing things, this is something I have a lot with videos. Like people will give advice or recommendations or say it's so obvious that blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, it's only obvious because you're not actually experiencing it, you know. And it's hard to give the real experience. Oh, let me turn on a bit of light here, so I'm not getting super dark. Yeah, that's good light. But yeah, I'm the mud claw is going well so far. I don't really think you were trying to be a dick. Was a little presumptuous though. You were coming at me mighty strong, but it's okay, no problem. I can take it. And it's not actually that slow either. Like I was explaining earlier, like it's definitely not slow compared to the mud sucker. Just because it gets such a good solid clump at once. And when I turn the camera off, it just start going. It goes a lot faster. Why didn't you improve the mud sucker and add a hose to it? I did put a hose on it. Okay, here's the thing with the mud sucker. The mud sucker has to be flexible, right? Because it's got to get over there and up and down. Like the thing has to be very flexible. At first, I was trying flexible hoses, but they all ended up breaking. So what I ended up doing was making a flexible, coupled together PVC thing that kind of like, you know, they snuggled into each other, but could rotate, and those leak. And, you know, I could do more to make them less leaky. But I'd have to do it without them being tight, because if they get tight, then you can't move the thing. You know, it has to stay loose. But I don't know. It's not a. I don't know. I guess the biggest thing was it has to suck so much moisture, so much water with the muck that it doesn't necessarily go where I want it to go. That was the biggest problem, and you know, it can wash right back in really easily. But if I can get a clump of stuff scooped up and dumped, that just maybe I should have shown it on the video, like where I was doing the mud scooper thing. There's like a clump of solid there. You make a big pipe, whatever. Ha ha! A mosquito just flew past the microphone, and I heard it clearly. Really? I didn't see it. Where's the mosquito? Is it in here somewhere? Every once in a while, one gets in here. Well, the thing is, like, once I turn on a light, or if I have like anything with a light on, you know, of course, mosquitoes are attracted to it, and you know, they can get in during the day, and the doors open and everything, and there's space between the, you know, around the windows, whatever. Anyway, if the claw was heavier, it might fall in deeper and pick up more. It would be heavier with weight on it, however. Yeah, I don't want to make it, I don't want to make the claw heavier for sure. It definitely gets in there and scoops good. That's not a problem at all. I don't want to make that heavier because it's kind of at the point where I'm heavy enough to lift it, but not by a lot. So yeah, I definitely don't want to make the scoop heavier. Oh, and what Hans was saying about it just looks so labor intensive. I like having a certain amount of like my own physical activity. That's another thing about the mudsucker. With the mudsucker, it was just like a sleepy job. Like I'd sit there on the back of the boat, just kind of like it's yeah, not really getting any exercise. But doing the thing, it's like doing a pull up and a push down and a little thing. Was that the mosquito? Or was that just nothing? Yeah, I like having to use my muscles because I don't want to get old and flabby, you know. Keith says, any interesting animal interactions lately? Oh, let's see. Well, I was kayaking today with my kids, and a fish almost jumped into my kayak. Because fish often, jump out of the water and kind of skim across the top. It's kind of cool. They go super fast too. And one jumped like right over my kayak and almost landed in. Other than that, let's see. Yeah, nothing really. I have a raccoon on my island that I may need to get rid of. I also talked to someone the other day about turkeys. I met a lady online who has turkeys, and she was highly recommending the turkeys. And I might want to get some turkeys. They sound pretty awesome. Would you ever make an electric fan boat? Yeah. So, oh wait, I missed something. Are there fish in your canals? Yeah, there's some fish in the canal. Although the canal's really shallow, so there's not much in there. But if I go to the end of the canal, off the island, yeah, there's fish all around the edge of the island. Okay, would you ever make an electric fan boat? Yes, I've definitely thought about that. Every time I make a propeller, like an air propeller out of wood, like for just a fan to cool off or whatever, I'm always thinking like I'm improving my propeller skills for possibly a fan boat. And one of my daughters keeps bugging me to make some kind of motorized thing for the kayaks because now I have the double kayak and put all my kids in that, and they're safe because it's super stable. And she wants to put a solar panel on it or two, and then a motor. And I had some 1/4 horsepower motors out, and we were talking about them, and the idea of making an air propeller and just putting up behind definitely came up. And yes, I'm definitely thinking about it. I think that would be fun. It'd be really fun to put a kid behind it and then turn it on and they just be like, oh man. I have chickens. And in my opinion, you should get some and let them roam free because they aren't too picky, but they are hilarious to have around. They are hilarious and they poop everywhere. And God, chickens are so dumb. Oh my God, they're so dumb. Anarchy Television, how's it going, man? The Windup fan? Really, man? Get a quality fan and a timer. What? You get a quality. Don't tell, have you been watching my channel at all? You're going to tell me what to do? No, if you want a fan and a timer, you get a fan and a timer. I want to make a fucking Windup fan. So why would you not want me to do what I want to do? That's just, you're not being sane right now. Oh, Metatron. Metatron, what are you thinking? The Windup fan? Really, man? Come on, dude. You're being weird and very juvenile right now. You get a fan and a timer. Oh, man. This is so ridiculous. That's one of the most ridiculous things about having a YouTube channel is people tell you what you should be doing. And it's like, I didn't start a channel so you could tell me what to do. If anything, my channel is about telling people to do what you think you should do. Don't worry about what other people are doing so much. That's like it's like the huge point of my message here. Anyway, I think that went over your head maybe, but whatever. Will thrives. You are doing a great job, Jaimie. And you are not the only one doing this. Excellent. Yeah, I know, definitely there are other people, homestead. There's a lot of people homesteading. Most of them keep to themselves though, because every time I meet like if I meet a homesteader online, they're always like, I can't believe you post stuff online about this. Like, have a YouTube channel? You must get a lot of crap about it, because I just stay away from all that. Because there's a lot of resistance in our culture to people being self-sufficient, which is super silly. Bedini battery charger fan was cool. What's a Bedini battery charger fan? Use one battery, then charges the other. Swap back and forth. Wait, are you telling me that it's charging itself? Is this the infinity machine? This sounds like an infinity machine, which does not work. If you have an infinity machine, it would melt the universe. If someone gives a suggestion, why do you get so mad? I don't get so mad if someone gives a suggestion. What's the suggestion? Can you be more specific? Like you gotta tell me what you're talking about. Because that's a really vague thing, and it's like you're nitpicking right now. If someone gives a suggestion, why do you get so mad? First, like have you seen me get mad? I don't think you've ever seen me get mad. When people see me get mad, which happens extremely rarely, they don't have to. They know I'm mad. Oh man. Oh, why do you get so mad? And the other thing is, like, when someone gives a suggestion, if I got mad every time someone gave me a suggestion, I would just be going crazy all the time. You got to be way more specific. What are you talking about? What are you trying to say here? Give me something to work with. I can't respond to such a vague things that you're not telling me what you're talking about. I missed the part about the clockwork fan. I need one. Ha! Well, Tim Baird, don't go tell Metatron that. He'll tell you to get a quality fan and a timer, because he'll say, really, man? Just get a quality fan and a timer. No, you know what I'm talking about, Tim. Yeah, a clockwork fan, that's a cool thing, man. Chickens have been a freaking disaster for Jaimie. What? They haven't been a freaking disaster for me. Yeah, they haven't been a disaster at all. Hey, Jaimie, I checked your old place out in Vermont. What an amazing place you built. Too bad vandals have messed it up a bit, sadly. I told my audience to check out your channel. You're amazing. I don't even want to know about vandals in my own place. See, this is one of the reasons. Like when I sold the place, I didn't want to know what was happening there anymore, because like I don't want to watch something I like put so much effort into getting wrecked. So yeah, I know that's why I don't pay attention to it. Okay, Sire Panfried. Is it Panfried or Panfried? In your recent video, your son was so inquisitive. Oh, he's always like that. It's great. It must be interesting to have your kids get older like that. He was grilling you, running through all his thoughts on your project. Yeah, it's really awesome having kids who have not had their curiosity crushed by some horrible public school or whatever, or by staring at screens all day. The other day, might have been yesterday or the day before, somehow we got into some conversation while we were having dinner. So they were all here. Oh yeah, it wasn't dinner. It was a pre-dinner snack, because I had a frozen pizza, not a store-bought frozen pizza, but like a pizza. We had a pizza left over from the day before that I put in the freezer and then pulled it out, and it was frozen. And I moved it over, and my son put his hand where the pizza was, and he was like, wow, that is cold. And then we got in this whole discussion about heat transfer and what heat actually is. Like it's the particles the tiny particles, the microscopic particles vibrating. And the faster they vibrate, the more they're vibrating, the hotter a thing is. And the less they're vibrating, the colder a thing is. And so there is actually a limit to how cold you can get. And then we got into 0 degrees Kelvin, which is when the particles just stop entirely. And then got into this whole thing about, hot air balloons and expanding gases. It's just yeah, it was really cool. And they're just asking questions the whole time. Hey, Jaimie, oh wait, a clock on your tower to see when you work with a big ceiling fan slowly turning in the rafters all the time, driven with oversized grandfather clockworks. That would be pretty cool. But I don't think I'm going to do that. That's a lot of work. But that would be pretty awesome. Make a giant clock tower. If you've seen how much a gold dredge sucks and easy to build, I think you would be amazed. And if you placed a silt sock, dude, you got to work on your typing here, where you want the muck, put the discharge hose in the sock and pump away. Okay, there's another difficulty with that, which is power. So I don't want to have to go get gasoline every time I want to use something. Like if I can do it manually, great. I can do it with electricity, but that was another issue with the mud sucker I made. And it wasn't that I didn't have enough electricity, but like I can't go suck mud for a couple hours and then drive my boat on a long distance trip the next day, because then it used all kinds of energy. And if you're talking about a gold dredge, it's probably using a gas motor that's got a fairly high amount of power that I'm not going to want to spare that much power in electricity, and I don't want to have to buy gasoline to use it. So if I see, well, this is one of those funny things where you're telling me what I'm going to think. But the reality is, if you see how much a gold dredge sucks and is easy to build, you would be amazed. I wouldn't necessarily be amazed, but I get what you're saying. But yeah, for all those things, like, I always do things the way I'm doing them for a reason. And it's not that there's no better way to do it, but like, if you throw all the standard ways to do something at me, I've probably either thought about them or tried them, Oh, here's one. Hey, Jaimie, have you thought about making a windmill for power generation? No, I've actually never thought about that. I'm sorry. Yes, I have thought about making a wind generator. Yes, I've actually made a couple before just to play around with. And I have a broken one here that I bought from someone for $20, and I was thinking I could repair it. Although it generates 12 volts, which is why I haven't done anything with it. But maybe I can open it up and change it to 24 volts, without too much complication. Anyway, yes, I have thought about that. I believe it has diminished returns on batteries, but it is not perpetual. Oh, this is the fan that charges a battery, and then you swap the batteries, and then it charges the other one. Yeah, you're gonna lose more energy. Like I don't think there's no benefit to that. Like if you take a battery and charge another battery, you're gonna lose some of that power, unless you're using superconductive wires and the batteries are also superconductive, in which case you will maintain your energy, but that's it. You're not gonna get any more. There's no advantage to charging a battery that you're, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Unless there's some physics that, I missed out on. Oh, the sun is his clock and it powers all his things. That is true. The sun is my clock. Most of the time, I don't actually care what time it is. I also don't know what month it is most of the time, unless someone has a birthday. Yeah, like the sun comes up and I can see that I can do stuff. The sun goes down, it's getting dark. In the evening, I usually have a light on for a little bit, but I pretty much, like, when it gets dark, I kind of wind down. Maybe I'll do some computer stuff. Maybe I'll do some designing of some clockwork parts tonight. Yeah, I pretty much just go with the sun. Hey, Jaimie, Will Thrives. Any advice on my own personal YouTube channel? If I was going to start one right now, I would do it anonymously. Yeah, I don't know. It depends. Like, what do you want to do? Just do what you want to do. Because, yeah, without any further information, it's really hard to say. Because like, the way I do my YouTube channel is I do what I think is going to be useful to other people and what I think is interesting. And I don't worry about money. If I make any money on it, great. And I do make some money on my YouTube channel, but I'm definitely not maxing that out. And I enjoy it because I get to do the things that interest me and show the things that interest me. And yeah, I always try to do things in a way that will be, informative or inspiring or whatever to other people too. So I guess, yeah, I mean, I really don't have enough information to say, but this might apply. Do what you want to do with your YouTube channel, and don't worry about subscribers or likes and views and all that. Just start doing something that you think is worth doing, that you think is good, and then worry about the other stuff later. Yeah, that would be my advice. Do what you want to do. I have a severe allergy to grass, the stuff we mow, not smoke. All right. So I asked my doc what I should do. He said, move to an island, like I can afford a doc. And it was 100 Fahrenheit today up in Mass. Dude, islands are not that expensive around here. Although you gotta like schmooze and mingle and, you can of course get an island for an expensive thing, but yeah, move to an island, get rid of all the grass. How is everyone? Didn't get an alert. Oh, Mr. Landful, you didn't get an alert? You're here late. Hopefully there's no one you had to ban yet. But how's it going? I hope you're doing well. Any advice for someone disabled trying to do the same thing as you? Well, is this the same guy or? Yeah, the same guy who's talking about a YouTube channel. Well, what do you mean do the same thing as me? If you're disabled, you're probably not going to be able to do the exact same things as me, depending on how you're disabled. I don't know. But I guess the thing is, like, when you have like some kind of unfortunate circumstance in your life, whether it's being disabled or maybe you had a shitty childhood that gives you nightmares and you have all this stress, or maybe I don't know. There are a lot of things that can go wrong in a person's life. Don't get too hung up on it, and it can get really hard at times to not get hung up on what hasn't gone well for you that has gone well for a lot of other people, especially if it's something like you're born with, or like, you lost an arm saving other people or something. It's like you did the right thing and it resulted in some disability. But in the end, what's going to be most useful to you is to not focus too much on what you can't do and just figure out what you can do, and then do that and kick ass at that as much as you can. And obviously you're going to have times where you're like, damn it, I wish I could do that. Like if you're in a wheelchair and you see someone else running, oh man, oh my God, oh, that's got to be brutal. But figure out what you can do. Everyone has limitations in certain ways, and they're unlimited in other ways. Like you're unlimited in your ability to improve yourself in your circumstance. There's always something you can do to make things better. And everyone is limited in that we're all going to die. We all have some kind of physical limitations. I can't just jump in the air and fly, although I would love to. That would be amazing. So yeah, really try to focus on what you can do and kick ass at that. That's the best advice I can give. Do you have tides like we do in Maine? I have tides that are about like maybe a meter, not even a meter. They're not even a meter here. The tides are pretty mild here in the Caribbean in general. I don't know what they're like in Maine, but on the Pacific side of the world, the tides are like 2 stories. It's crazy. Like we had those tides here, the water would come up like over my second floor and then go back to, well, I mean, not over the second floor, but like, yeah, it's crazy over there. We have very mild tides here. Jaimie, do you ever made a sundial to tell time? I don't have a sundial to tell time. I just kind of look at the sun or look at the shadows, and I can usually tell the time pretty accurately from that. But like I was saying before, like the number isn't that important to me unless I'm, have something scheduled. I'm supposed to meet someone or whatever. But like most of the time, it's just either the sun is out or the sun is not out. Like if the sun is out, I can see outside and do stuff without having, set up lights and stuff. And when the sun is down, it is dark. Like, yeah, that's what most of my time is. It's just either sun's up or sun's not up. You seem fed up a bit. Is everything okay? Do I seem fed up? Oh no, maybe I'm being too am I being too, what's the word? too flamboyant with my explanations. I don't know. I'm not really fed up. Everything is okay. Maybe I'm responding too harshly to some people. I apologize. But yeah, I wouldn't say everything is okay. Some things are okay. Some things are not okay. Something you could wind up for wind. That's a cool idea. I had a wind up push mower. What? That would start the engine after winding it up. That could work. That would, well, you had a, wait, this is not a push motor that's like wound up and has a spring or something. Wait, what kind of thing is this? I had a wind up push mower that would start the engine after winding it up. What is the engine? Is it, I'm trying to figure out if this is one where the wheels, when you're pushing it, the wheels turn a couple gears and, spin a blade, or if there was like an engine that has like you start the thing and that's what starts the gas motor. Well, I don't know. Not sure what you're talking about. Thank you so much for answering my questions. Oh, you're very welcome, Will Thrives. And I'm glad I didn't seem fed up when I answered them. Oh no, Wendy retracted a message. Maybe I've been too antisocial today. I heard that your oldest daughter is starting her own channel. I heard that too. I don't really have much to do with it. I'll try to keep an eye on it. No, yeah, I don't know. I'm actually doing the same thing as you on an island. Well, what island are you on, man? Tell me about it. I would love to hear. Will Thrives. Matt's awesome stuff says, just got here. Scrolling up through the chat, I see today is a tell Jaimie things he already knows and give bad advice to Jaimie based on bad science and context day again. Well, thank you, Matt, because I just got a bunch of shit for pointing that out, where I thought I was doing it kind of politely, but oh, I got to read that one again. I apologize to everyone who's offended. Oh, just got here scrolling up through the chat. I see today is a tell Jaimie things he already knows and give it bad advice to Jaimie based on bad science and context day again. Yes. Yeah, it was a little bit of that there for a little bit. But we're fine. All right. Sorry if I come across, what was it? Fed up. Sorry if I come across fed up, but I gotta tell the truth. Okay, I'm the guy on an island in South Louisiana. Thanks for the advice. Well, yeah, okay. I remember talking to you before. What is your disability, if you're okay with sharing? Sorry. Thinking about something unrelated. Matt's awesome stuff says Maine, I think, has some of the largest tides in the world. Really? That's crazy. We can have 10-foot tides twice a day. Man. Yeah, on the Pacific side of Central America, it's like 17 feet from what I understand. Either way, I mean, when it goes up and down that much, like you park your boat and it's an hour later, it is like on dry land. You know, that would be the toughest thing. Is like, where do you park your boat? Like, you need to know what the tide is and what's going to happen, because you could park it somewhere and like, and next thing you know, it is just like out to sea because the tide came up. They must have like docks that float and like go up and down a lot. I can fly, get wrecked, limited people who can't. I can fly, get wrecked, limited people who can't. You may be able to fly, but your typing is not great. Oh man, all right. The sauce rocks. This canal reminds me of the old infrastructure, human bulldozer video. Ah, that old Toyota scene. Oh man, that was a great truck. Oh, I love that truck. I sold it to a guy for $200 when I left. There was a guy in town. You know, I was planning to leave the country, so I was not coming back. And I was like, I have this awesome truck, and I knew this guy who lived down the street a little bit, who really, obviously, he really wanted it. He wasn't asking me for it, but like he would have really liked it. And you know, he was the kind of guy who would take care of it and everything. And I was like, you know, yeah, I'm leaving. And I was gonna sell my truck. He's like, oh, I can't afford it. And I was like, how about $200? He's like, what? No way. He was so excited. I'm sure he's still driving that thing. Maybe not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's still driving that thing. I saw him a few days later, and he'd like been fixing stuff up on it. So yeah, that was cool. I was glad that went to someone who was gonna, you know, use it, because that's the kind of thing you gotta use. Is it okay to share your videos? Well, of course, man. Totally share my videos. That's great. You are a great inspiration for many. Well, yes, please share my videos with anyone you want. I mean, that's kind of the point of me making them. If you think they're in any way beneficial to anyone, please share them with that person. That is great. Hello from Finland. Hello from Panama. I hope things are good in Finland. Okay, Jaimie, do you get good lightning storms there? Sometimes, yeah. Oh, your name is Storm. Wait, where'd it go? Storm Chaser 300. I do get good lightning storms here sometimes. Nothing has gotten close recently, but like 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, there was like a year or two when the lightning storms were crazy. I don't know what was going on, but it hasn't been anything like that since. But you know, when you look out over the ocean, like I can see for miles and miles. So if there's lightning storms anywhere out there, I can see it all. You know, it's pretty cool. Matt says, Will, Jaimie's videos, or are you asking if one is okay to share one's own video links with the chat? Oh, if you want to share your own video links with the chat, yeah, go for it, man. Wait, is that what you're asking? Is it okay to share your videos, my videos? Yeah, but if you have something you want to share in the chat too, go for it. Totally cool, man. You know, people can click on it or not, obviously. Plug your channel name, I'll watch. Nice. Mr. Landfill put Will Thrive's channel down there. Cool. Thank you, Mr. Landfill. You're just on top of things all the time. That's great. Or comment says, I just got here, so not seen the rest of the stream. Maybe fed up was a bit strong. You are being quite kind to answer so many questions. Well, yeah, I do try not to come across as fed up, but I do want to like answer the questions for real. So yeah, Matt says just a little further than Maine, in the Bay of Fundy in Nova Scotia, are the highest tides in the world. 30 feet. Holy crap! It's like 3 stories, like an industrial building has 10 foot stories or 10 foot floors. You know, that's 3 stories. That's crazy. I actually looked at some islands in Nova Scotia. I didn't actually go there. I just looked at them online. I ended up deciding to come here instead, though, for a bunch of reasons. Okay, Will thrives. My disability is basically having more metal than bone in my arm, so I have to do things the smart way instead of the hard way. Well, I don't think the hard way is necessarily the hard way and the smart way are necessarily mutually exclusive, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, so if you've like broken your arms or something, and both of them, oh, my arms, ooh, that's rough. But yeah, I hope you're doing whatever you can to take care of them, and yeah, just do what you can. Figure out ways to do things that in ways that you can do them. I've often thought about what I would do if I lost like a leg or an arm or something. Like what would I make? I'd have to make myself something to make some kind of replacement or figure something out. But luckily everything's still working. I don't know, miraculously. Matt says, I went there when I was a kid, the Bay of Fundy. Pretty scary how fast the water rises. Yeah, if it goes up 30 feet, like I imagine it must be moving pretty fast, especially because, it's not just going up, but like the shore is at an angle like this. So when it goes up a little, it moves along the shore a lot. So that water would be chasing you. Sire Pan Fried, to be fully honest, I would love a 30-minute video of you relaxing and going fishing. Really? Well, I'll put that in my suggestion box. Does anyone else have any suggestions? 30-minute video of me relaxing and fishing. Usually when I go fishing, it's not as relaxing because I go spear fishing, but I could totally hook fish. Sometimes I do that. Usually if I'm hook fishing, I'm dragging a line. And that is very relaxing. I've gotten a couple of videos of that over the years, but yeah, usually I don't get video of that because I'm just kind of sitting there, dragging a line, just puttering along, spacing out. But I will try to keep that in mind. Will, that's not a disability, you're a cyborg. If it's a disability, you need to invent cooler body parts. Well, it probably is a disability if he's saying the metal is interfering in some way. But yeah, I don't know. Mr. Landfill says only mods can post clickable links. Oh, that's probably a good thing. Thank you for posting that for him, then, Mr. Landfill. That's very helpful. Yeah, that totally makes sense that only moderators could post clickable links because, yeah, you get people coming in, posting. Will thrives. Yes, I'm sorry to plug my channel. Oh, dude, I don't mind at all. Totally do it. But I just love this show and want to have more interactions like you. Dude, plug your channel, man. I think we have talked about you before. I was already subbed to you, to Will Thrives. Cool. Some people have all the luck. Captain Skellebones says some people have all the luck. I don't know who has all the luck. I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my arms and every night I break my legs. Well, Captain Skellebones, that sounds about right. I'm presuming you're joking about that, but I don't actually know. I think tidal power generators could be the most efficient renewable source possible, harnessing the moon's gravity by way of sea level rise and fall. Well, don't steal too much of that energy. You might screw up the planet orbits or something. Anyway, I've said this before, but I think the biggest solution to the energy problem that we have in our world is for people to stop wasting energy. People using unbelievable amounts of energy on things that don't make their lives better, like watching TV all day and crap like that. Some of my most enjoyable and most beneficial times of my life have been times when I was beyond electricity. Maybe I'll have like a little solar light or something, but like when I was in Alaska building some houses, and this was before there were any cell towers or anything out there, just cut off from everything. almost no electricity. We'd light one candle and sit around and tell stories at night. And, it was, yeah. I think we use electricity to entertain ourselves and do things for us too much. And a lot of people have their lives being lived by machines instead of doing it themselves. But that's just what I think. Oh, where do we go? If you could click your fingers and have one thing object, what would it be? Probably a spaceship. But if I had that ability, I would really want to think about it. But yeah, spaceship. Oh, spaceship would be awesome. Pretty cool spaceship. But if it could be anything though. Like I could click your fingers and have one thing object. What would it be? You know what? It might be a Superman pill. So a pill I could eat and just bloop, suddenly I'm Superman. Although there may be some downsides to that. But I don't know. Yeah, I would want to think about that. I'm sure I could come up with some awesome stuff. But it would have something to do with being able to go into outer space. I posted a link only because you are a direct influence. Cool, man. Totally cool. I'm a real person. I believe it. Matt says, Jaimie, line fishing? I think you're supposed to say fishing. Line fishing is such low effort activity. You could have a live stream while fishing. Worst case, it's a normal live stream. Best case, normal live stream plus fish. Well, I have to get the internet on my boat. I'm not sure how far my internet's going to reach. So I could probably fish like right beside my island, as long as I didn't go anywhere too far. Although, I could catch fish just driving circles around my island. But the signal would go in and out when I'm on the other side of that hill, I'm sure. Anyway, where were we? Jaimie, were you a professor at university? If what? I think that means if so, what did you teach? I was not a professor at university. I mean, I did like tutoring stuff, but yeah, I've never been an official professor at a university. Spaceships are time machines. That's a can of worms we're not going to get into right now. Would you go to Mars? Oh, hell yeah, I'd go to Mars. I'd go to like all kind of, Mars would be like the first step. I'd be like in other galaxies and stuff. If I could snap my fingers and have like anything, there would be like some serious business going on. Captain Skellabone says, I would like to get Starlink internet and live like you one day. Well, then you'd be living not like me because I don't have Starlink. Let's see if I'm missing any. Oh, looks like we're at the end of comments right now. So maybe that's a good time for me to shut up and eat my dinner because I cooked it right before I turned this on. So it's cooled off now. I can totally eat it. Okay, I mean, would you go to Mars in the next few years, but you can't come back? I don't think I could do it because I have kids. But if I were in a situation where I was not going to have kids, I would absolutely do it. I would totally 100% do it. Yeah. Jaimie, how are you doing? Or Karma says, go eat. And Will Thrive says, Jaimie, how are you doing? Well, thanks, Will. It's nice to be asked once in a while how I'm doing. I'm doing pretty well overall. Yeah, pretty well overall. I definitely feel like I'm missing some stuff. I've burned some bridges recently with people, kind of on purpose. So that wasn't like a big surprise. But it was the kind of thing where it was like, I had sort of semi-friends who didn't like the truth. And to be friends with them, I'd have to like lie. So I was just like, forget it. I just got tired of people and so maybe that way I am fed up. I was fed up with some people this week. And I was just like, forget it. Just never mind. I don't know. Other than that, things are generally going pretty well. But yeah, I don't know. There's how are you doing? I don't know how I'm doing. I'm doing good in some ways, all right in other ways. I'm not doing bad in any way. So that's a good thing. Earth has thousands of years of history and so much going on. Mars has nothing. Well, I don't know. I've found that often when I think nothing is going on, if I look close enough, there's all kinds of things going on. So I don't know, maybe there's stuff going on Mars. And if I went there, I would make some stuff happen. I'm not going if I'm just going there to die. I would be like, I need some way to build things. I need some construction process if I'm going. But I'm not going, so it doesn't matter. Will Thrives, how are you doing? Yeah, I think I'm doing mostly well. You know, I always have this, I'm definitely missing some stuff in my life, but yeah, things are going pretty well. Okay, is the US out of control now that President Biden has immunity? I don't know. What does he have immunity from? Is the U.S. out of control now that President Biden has immunity? Well, I didn't think I have not been keeping up with what's going on in the United States at all, so excuse my rudimentary understanding of what's going on. But I was under this understanding that Biden was not, it didn't really have the mental capacity to be doing anything. So he's pretty much just a puppet. So I don't know. That's been going on for quite some time. I don't know what he has immunity to either. So I don't know. There are places in Arizona that look just like Mars. Excellent. Bar Score 1 says, hit the like button, please, so more people find Jaimie's channel. Just not trolls. Don't send the trolls. Okay, I watched the video you made about the crazy, effeminate baby internet person while I was at work. Fun times. I don't even remember what I was talking about. The crazy, effeminate baby internet person. Oh, I can only imagine what I was saying. I don't even know. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Excellent. I have a great idea on how to eat. Just kidding. All right. I heard a story that we are from Mars. Oh, I've heard that story too. Who knows? Yeah, there's all kinds of things that could be true. Who knows? Word up. Island Online News. Huh. Jaimie, if money was no object, what would you build? Ooh. That's a tough one. Oh, it's a tough one. There'd be some outer space involved, though. And, well, the thing is, I don't know. I'd really have to think about that, because I have a moral objection to just throwing money at things and making stuff happen. And it's a convoluted situation, but definitely some giant robots. Keep up the good work, bro. I guess if money was no object, I'd have to think about it. I'd have to be in the situation where money was no object, and then really think about it, you know. Your camera mic is giving out a high frequency hum. Oh, you know what that probably is? It's probably the crickets. Yeah, that's like all I can hear right now is the crickets. And they make a high frequency hum. So that's probably them. And that has just changed. Does it just change? Leaving the United States to build your own nation, state, private island was a good choice in the current political climate. Yeah, it stopped when you touched it. Okay, Island Online News. Did it stop when I touched it, or did it stop because, is it going again now? Because there are crickets. There are definitely crickets here, and they make a, yeah, start it again. Okay, that's totally the crickets. Uh-oh, I just hit a button. Okay, good. Okay, Matt says, immunity. Supreme Court recently ruled that the president is functionally a king. It's to protect Trump from prosecution, but it applies to the role of president entirely. I see. Interesting. That doesn't sound like a great thing. But I don't know. Yeah, I've not been keeping up with U.S. stuff at all. Crickets, is it? Yes, crickets. Oh my God, when a cricket gets in the house, it is insanely loud. It is crazy how loud they are. Game to Chill says, build a bunker. I'm actually working on it. If you were to dig down on your island, does it fill with water? It would fill with rain, yeah. Good question, Orkama. So the soil here on this island is like dense clay. So if you like, I could make a pond up on the hill at the top of the island, and it would fill with water and it would hold water. I don't know if that's what you mean, but crickets. So you don't have any lights. I do have a couple lights like that I can just, that are like permanently attached places, but I don't have a light in the kitchen. I just use like a light that I put there. Yeah, I don't have many lights in my house because at night, like I want to be winding down. I guess part of it is that, I mean, maybe at some point I will probably put up more lights, but I kind of wanted to see what it was like to just experience the sun goes down and it's dark, and the sun comes up and it's light. Like that's the situation where we evolved. So theoretically, I should function well in that situation, right? So yeah, I haven't really focused on a lot of lights. I don't want to have like daylight in my house when it's not daytime. Any secret to making videos with such ease? Well, I don't know. Do I make them with such ease? When I make videos, I don't put a lot of effort into it. That's the only reason it's such ease, and that's because I'm always focused on the project I'm working on. Occasionally, I'll do a video where I want to talk about something, and I'll really think hard about what I'm going to say and try to, say it well. And that can be difficult to try to convey, a difficult to convey message. But yeah, most of the time I just am not really focused on the camera or anything because I'm focused on the projects I'm doing or whatever. But if it's a thing where you're like nervous in front of the camera or something, just start doing it, and don't worry about making a fool of yourself. You're gonna make mistakes and look stupid at times, and just be like, whatever. Life's short. You can't worry about that stuff too much. Good distillation of the immunity issue. Matt's awesome stuff. Yeah, that was a good explanation. Thanks. Okay, shut up. Let the man eat his food. Stop asking good questions. Yeah, I know. Okay, what is the deal with like all the good like long form kind of questions? They always come like when I'm about to leave. It's ridiculous. Like I'll be on for 2 hours and we'll be chit-chatting about nonsense stuff, and I'll try to talk about some interesting things. But then someone will ask like a profound question, like right when I'm about to go, and I'm like, oh man, I can go on for like half an hour on that. Oh, how many push-ups can you do? All right, now we're back to not profound questions. I don't know. When I do push-ups, I do knuckle and then jump off to my hands. So I always do jumping push-ups. And I switch from my hands to my knuckles, usually on the concrete, so I can get tough knuckles just in case I ever need to punch anything. But I jump as high as I can, and I can do like 30 before I'm just like my arms are just like jello, 30-ish. But like standard push-ups, like just on my hands, not jumping, I don't know. More than 30 anyway. How much? Well, yeah, I don't know. When I was a little kid, I used to do 100 in a row, but I also weighed like 60 pounds. How much do you rely on money in your day-to-day life? Can you be completely independent from the economy? I buy food, and if I suddenly had to be reliant on all of my own food, it would be difficult for a while, but I could do it. Like I would start fishing more for sure. And, I get some bananas and plantains and some potatoes and some yucca, which is like a potato-y thing. And then another potato-y thing called yampi. Yampi is my favorite out of the potato family. But yeah, if I'm still definitely buying food. Other than food, like I can do a lot without spending money. So I've been making kayaks. Obviously, I'm buying fiberglass for that. but I don't have to do that. You know, I have boats I can use that don't require gasoline. I have lots of materials and tools and stuff to keep up repairs for a significant period of time with all that stuff. Like a long time. I mean, wait, how much do you rely on money? Can you, yeah. How many push-ups can you, okay, is that, I mean, for digging a few floors down, not sure how it works when you're surrounded by ocean. Guess clay is dense. Oh, if I dig below the ocean level, it's gonna fill with water, I'm pretty sure. I mean, the thing is that the clay, if I dig in a spot that's solid clay, the ocean's not gonna come in, but it's gonna fill with rain pretty much immediately. And probably at some point the ocean's going to start wiggling its way through, and once it finds a way in, it's going to start, you know, pushing stuff out of the way and filling up more. Yeah, I don't dig below the ocean level. I'm late, Pixelot says. Edward says, I have a gift for you and your kids. Which Edward is this? Do you want to send me an email? Give me some info on it. Send me an email. My email is down here on the thing. I don't know which Edward this is. I do know an Edward who lives not too far from here. What you having for tea? Oh, for dinner, I did not make anything spectacular today. I have ground beef with some salt on it and some popcorn that I cooked in the fat from the ground beef. And that's all I made. Because I don't know, that's just what I felt like tonight. It's like the most boring dinner ever. Yeah, I wasn't feeling like. Oh, I also have some bread that I made the other day. Yeah, I wasn't feeling like anything fancy today. I don't know if. Oh, Big J Production says, I don't know if you remember me, but I sent you a video explaining how my wife was Panamanian and we were planning to move to Panama. And you recommended I come to Bocas and look at land. Yeah, totally, man. Do it. If you want to come visit or something, send me an email. And my email's down here in the description. I should be anyway. Brian, I do it like that too. You do it like what too? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you drink coffee? I do not drink coffee at all. No. Calories. Do you recommend per day, or do you eat per day, or how many calories do I eat per day? I just kind of eat when I'm hungry. I don't count calories or anything. So I do eat a lot, like, and I don't notice that until I go to someone else's house and eat there, and they're like, "Wow, you eat a lot." And I'm like, I don't know. I just eat. Like sometimes if I go to visit someone else's house for dinner, which doesn't happen that often, I'll come home and then also eat dinner because I just eat a lot. Oh, if so, wait. And do you have coffee with sugar? I don't have coffee or sugar. There's no coffee or sugar in my house. And when I say there's no sugar, I mean there's literally no coffee. And when I say there's no sugar, like I ate there's some prunes. They have sugar in them. You know, things that naturally have sugar in them. They have sugar in them. But I don't have like a bag of sugar. I don't cook with sugar. When I make bread, it's sourdough bread, and there's no sugar in it. Even to get it to do its thing. The sourdough bread works really well with shredded coconut. But yeah, I don't have coffee or sugar. Alcohol, I don't drink alcohol either. Yeah, I just never got into the alcohol. I don't know. If so, what meat do you eat? Well, today I'm eating ground beef. I think those patties were a quarter pound. So I guess I'm eating 3/4 of a pound of ground beef and like a pot full of popcorn with the fat from the ground beef. And I get these particular ground beef. Well, they come in burgers. They come in like a bag of burgers. And I get that one because it's really fatty, and I like the fat. So, like I feel good if I eat a lot of animal fat. You see yourself living on a private island for the rest of your life? Yeah, probably. Not for sure, but probably, yeah. Okay, alcohol. No, I didn't drink alcohol. You rock, Jaimie. Thanks, man. Pixelot retracting the message. Maybe it's something I answered. The Edward that gave you the bug zappers. Edward, what's going on, man? Yeah, send me an email. Tell me what the thing is. Big J Productions. The video was about 4 to 5 years ago. Even though it was a while ago, there were legitimate and important reasons for postponing the move. I don't regret it and still think it was the right thing to do. Not sure totally what you're talking about, but cool, man. Pixelot says, I substitute sugar with honey. Why don't you just say you use honey? You don't have to substitute sugar with honey. I always think that's weird when people substitute one food for another, because it implies that you're sort of like supposed to eat the one. Like if you want to eat honey, just eat honey. The weirdest one is like when vegans have meat substitutes. I always think, well, if you don't want to eat meat, just don't eat meat. I had a really close friend who was vegan, and I would eat with him a lot, and we would make vegan meals together, which I was totally fine with. But he was always telling me about these meat substitutes. Dude, it tastes just like meat. And I'd be like, dude, that tastes nothing like meat. That is nothing like meat. But it doesn't have to taste like meat. Tofu or wheat gluten or whatever, like it tastes delicious in its own way. This is totally not meat. Anyway, yeah, you eat honey. That's great. I would totally eat honey. I don't have any. But I want to get bees at some point. One of the many things I want to do, but I feel like, okay, maybe this goes back to the question that Will Thrives asked a while ago. Jaimie, how are you? I want a partner in this. There's so many things I want to do, and I'm doing everything by myself, which is not the worst thing in the world. Like a lot of things are going really amazingly well. Like if you asked me 20 years ago if I would be living in my 4-story cathedral on my own island, which is actually 2 islands, and I made a bridge between them, and I have solar boats and a lumber mill that runs off the sun. What the fuck? Amazing. A lot of stuff is super amazing, so I don't want to complain about. But I feel like I could do so much more if I had a partner in this, So that's something that, yeah, how am I doing? I'm doing really well, but I wish I had someone else here to do this stuff with. And I don't even care, like a woman, like a lady partner, which I've been working on, but meeting people is hard today, even if you don't live on an island. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna move on. But yeah, I would really like to have someone else here, because then I feel like I could do a lot of the things that I'm not doing, like get bees and get chickens and various other things that I feel like if I had another person around who could also help tend these things, we could blah 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 blah. Yum, 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 yum. Although my kids are getting to the point where they are becoming more and more responsible. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. I've been pretty much doing the same island thing as you, and was wondering what you plan on doing next. What I plan on doing next. Well, I want to build a guest house so people can visit, and then I want to build this campground on my property over there. It's not on my island, it's another property that I have. And I want to get more food growing. And I want to, it's just like lots of stuff. Yeah, there's always so many projects going on. I did just make a 5th kayak. Well, I didn't connect the parts yet, but the parts are good, and I try to do a really good job making them. And I'm going to try to sell that one. And if maybe I'll make a few more to sell, and then I can make back the money that I spent on, making the kayak molds and making them and all that. Yeah, I just have a lot of things in the works all the time. Good kicking Uruguay. Oh, did Uruguay just win a football match, as they say, or a soccer game, depending who you ask? Carlos Pereira was watching too, I think. How do you defend your island from prowlers? Well, I was saying earlier that I have a canal that comes into the interior of my island, and then there's like a little bay. That's where I park reconnecting. All right, I just got disconnected for a moment there. Looks like it's back. Other than that, just being scary. Like, people around here know that some crazy inventor guy who likes to like do all kinds of manual labor lives here. No one messes with me, you know. But if I had to defend my island more aggressively, if someone came onto it, I would do whatever I needed to do, you know. Storm Chaser. Well, the primary defense is an impressive moat, then a hill, also a jungle, also no one cares. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of it. Like one of the things I don't have any flashy stuff that anyone wants to steal, and I've always kind of been like that. Like my old truck. It looked all beat up. It worked perfectly. It was a great truck, awesome truck. But it looked all beat up. No one wanted to steal it. People would look at it and be like, that guy doesn't have money. No one would. I could leave my truck. One time I left my truck unlocked in Manhattan for like 2 days. No one did anything. And yeah, you know, I have all these custom made boats. No one's going to steal one of those because it would stand out like a sore thumb. And everyone would know it's mine. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know. And why is anyone getting, I don't get in fights with anyone. Like I don't have any conflicts with anyone around. Like there are people I don't get along with, but there's no one around that I have fights with, except maybe one person, but that guy's just freaking crazy and he gets in fights with like pretty much everyone, so that doesn't count. I just don't a lot of it is I don't attract prowlers, and I don't know, if I need to do something I would. Invasion of what? Mosquitoes? He burns coconut husks. Yeah, if there's mosquitoes, coconut husks, burn coconut husks. The mosquitoes do not like the smoke at all. You know what I've learned that really makes bugs go away is if you burn a termite nest. Like bugs really hate the smell of that for some reason. Doomsday preppers. Let's see. Are you against living with women? No, not at all. I think you must have commented this before I said what I just said, maybe. I would love to live with women, but I am against living with people who take and don't give. Like I love living with people who cooperate and work together. Obviously, I mean, everyone likes that. And I do not like living with people who are just looking to take. And some of you can probably relate to this. When you are a giver and a doer, sometimes you have a tendency to kind of attract takers. So like I'm just naturally inclined to help people. Like if I see someone who needs help, I just help them. Like if someone asks me for help, I'm just like, yeah, what do you need help with? Let's go take care of the thing. I have fun. I turn it into an adventure. It's like, let's take care of the thing. Your tractor rolled over. All right, let's go over there and get some 4x4s and get that sucker back up. You know, I help people. And this has been a problem with women in particular in my lifetime too. I attract women who need help. Partly because I'm willing to help them. So that's something I've been working on is staying away from the women who need too much help. And not that I don't want to help people in general, but and you know, women in particular. It's just I don't want to just be helping people all the time. So I love living with people who can work with me and want to, like, I can help them and they will help me. And it's like, you know, give and take goes both ways. But I do have I've been told many times, don't be such a nice guy. All good deeds, no good deeds go unpunished. I heard this a million times, and people tell me, yeah, you help people, you got to get paid, and I'm like, I don't need to get paid. I have enough abundance that I can just help people, and that makes me feel good. I like to be able to do that. Anyway, so yeah, I like living with women, especially really nice ones with good. Anyway, where were we? I'm trying to find where this question was. Let's live in. I'm gonna need at least a wife that's there 24/7. Respect. Yeah, I would love to have a wife, but wasn't in the cards yet. I've never really said anything about this before, but for a long time, like ever since I was pretty young, I've always had some weird idea, and I don't know where this comes from, but I've had this weird idea in my head that I'm going to meet my long-term partner when I'm 50. I don't know, like when I was 20, I was like, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. I don't even know where this idea came from, but it's something I've always thought for a long time. So maybe I'm going to meet someone next year. I don't know. And I have no idea where that idea came from. I'm glad you elaborated on that subject. What was the subject? I don't know, but I'm glad I elaborated on it too. Orikama says, can you dive? Yes, I can dive. I can dive off diving boards, and I can also swim down in the water deep. I enjoy both activities. You are back. Yes, Mr. Landfill. All right, now I have kind of a clue of how far behind I am on comments. Captain Skellabone says, that's where the giant robot spiders come in. Build a giant robot spider with pontoons at its feet that can skate on the water and blow flames and fire machine guns at pirates. If I have definitely thought about if I build a giant spider robot or whatever, any kind of giant robot on my island, it will have an actual functional purpose, even if it doesn't really have a functional purpose. Because people will see that and they will be like, whoa, do not mess with that dude. He has a giant freaking robot that like shoots fire or whatever and stomps around. Like if I was driving around a giant robot and like you could see it from the water, people would be like, whoa, do not mess with that guy. So it would actually have a purpose. Even if it was just made out of like fiberglass or something. Any plans to build an airship? Oh my God, I would love to build an airship. This is one of these many things that I would love to do, but we'll have to see how much time I have. I don't know. Oh, I just got a message. Okay, nothing important. Blackwater guy, boys. What's going on, man? Hey, man, you inspire me a lot. Thanks for being here, sharing all this cool stuff. I'm buying the shear. Oh, nice. Yeah, he asked me the other day just on a message. Rolfie, what shear? Someone bought me like a big metal shear. I put it on my Amazon wish list, and he got it for me, which was amazing because those things are not that cheap. But I've used that thing a lot. It's really good. I like it. It's made by Kaka, Kaka, the Kaka metal shear. I don't know if those guys in China knew what they were spelling when they made that brand name, but yeah, it's a really good. It's a really good thing. Kaka. What are they thinking? Captain Skellabone says based. I must have said something based. I'm a little bit behind here again, though. Same here, Jaimie for legend. Having a wife makes living with women difficult, doesn't it? Having a wife makes living with women difficult, doesn't it? Not if you have the right wife. Like, we have such a screwed up culture today where like a lot of, I don't want to go off on a huge thing because I've already been talking for like an hour and 45 minutes, but like when we want to decide if like a bucket of, if we want to separate like a bucket of apples into the good ones and the bad ones, you take the good ones here and you put the bad ones there. The ones that are don't have holes or whatever you put here, and the ones that are rotting you put over there. You divide it based on what's good and what's bad, right? And we do that with things all the time. these batteries are good because they work. Those batteries are not because they don't work. We divide things up into good and bad constantly throughout our day, all the time, based on what's good and bad. However, when we are judging people, what's the word? Not judging. Well, judging is the word, but anyway, I'm just going to use the word judging because my brain is getting tired. So when we are dividing people into good and bad, we don't divide them between who's good and bad. We divide them amongst all these other dumb lines that don't make sense. So if you're a man, you're supposed to say, well, men are good and women are bad. Women. Women. Can you believe it? Or if you're a woman, men. Men are gross. They're horrible and dumb, and women are good. Or color. If I'm white, I'm like, the white people are good, the black people are bad, or the Asians are bad, or the Indians are bad, or whatever. And you just, or like, if I'm old, can you believe young people? They're so dumb. Or like old people are dumb. Or like we divide what's good and bad, not by what's good and bad. We divide it by all these other just nonsensical, mostly superficial things that don't make any sense. We don't do that with all kinds. Like, we have the sense to look at a pile of nails and say, okay, the straight ones are good, the bent ones are bad. But we can't do that with each other. So we have this screwed up society where there are all these just arbitrary reasons to hate each other, and it really makes it difficult to connect with other people, particularly someone of the opposite gender. So men and women are, and I blame a lot of this on feminism, but it's not even just feminism. It's like just a generalized, not sensibly dividing people into good and bad. Like, to divide people into good bad, you should say, okay, people with good behaviors, you go in the good pile. People with bad behaviors, you go, okay, you murderers and rapists, you go over there. The nice people who are kind and helpful and work hard, you go in the good pile. Like, that's how we should be dividing good and bad. But we keep doing it based on like gender or race or height or left ears or right ears, like all this stuff that makes no sense. And it causes so many dumb conflicts. And it's so hard, like, people have all these difficult relationship problems because of it. It just doesn't make any sense. I blame it on lots of propaganda, people watching too much TV. Because you watch all those, what are they, like sitcoms and stuff, and they always make dumb jokes about, the guys will be sitting around talking about how the women are dumb, and the women will be talking about how the men are dumb, and then, they'll be talking about how anyone who likes our sports team is a good person. Anyone who likes that sports team is a bad person. And I just like, and it's always ha ha ha, but it just gets repeated over and over. Since you built a small coliseum, have you considered having cats pop out of the floor and lions for defense? Well, that wouldn't be a terrible idea, except the cats might die because, who knows when if I knew when the burglars were going to come, or whoever these invaders are, then I could set them up right. But I don't want to put them in there and have them waiting for years. That's why I feel like if I had a bunch of robots around, it would be pretty good. Will Thrive says, I think there's many strong men doing amazing things like you, yet it's incredibly difficult to find a woman who is interested and capable of off-grid living. My question is, what's your thoughts on strong men who has everything and still has a place in their lives for a woman? Well, I don't think it should be worded that a strong man still has a place in his life for a woman. I think a strong man should have a place in his life for a woman. Not that I'm saying you have to. You can just decide you're doing it your own. But I don't think it makes you strong or weak to want to have a partner. But I was talking about this with a girl the other day, actually, where she was saying that it just seems like all the good men are missing. Like they're all just at home doing their own thing. Like it's impossible to find them. And I'm like, dude, it's the same thing. Like it's impossible to find a good woman. They're all at home hiding. All the crazy lunatics are just running around saying, hey, let's have sex with anyone all the time, or let's get drunk. They're in your face all the time. But to try to find a good person, not even necessarily a a romantic partner, just like even just a good friend or whatever. Like it's those people are quiet, and they're often busy just doing things in their own place that they're in their own time. They're not running around being in your face. Super easy to find crazy people. They're just all over the place in your face all the time. It's much harder to find good, sane people. Your opinion on cannabis. I don't really have an opinion on cannabis. I don't smoke anything like anything. I mean, I smoke coconut husks on the ground to keep bugs away, but I don't smoke anything myself. If someone offered me something, I'd be like, nah. I don't think I would like it. I still have pink lungs. I think it would feel terrible if I inhaled something. Or I could eat it in pot brownies or whatever. But I just don't feel like I have any need for cannabis, weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it. I don't feel like I have any need for it or interest. It's just I just have other things to do. So I don't know. Jaimie, a AI robot companion to help you on the island. It's not as good, man. It's not as good. Thinking when I move over, I'd live on a boat, large raft moored to a small piece of land I would buy, mainly to avoid bugs, but also concern over land rights in Panama. Does that sound feasible to you? Yeah, you can totally do that. So basically just build a floating house. Totally, man, do it. Sounds great. Mr. Landfill, just want to say hello. You do a great job, man. You do a great job, Mr. Landfill. You do a great job. Thanks, man. Don't you love the women who say how unique you are, and the first thing they do is try to get rid of that or whatever? Yeah, I've had that situation. When I mean, this has happened many times, but one girlfriend in particular just popped into my head. One day she said to me, I love that you have all these morals and like causes that you're always, fighting for, and trying to do the right thing, and you go out of your way to do all this stuff that you care about and think is right, and blah blah blah. And then she finishes with, but couldn't you just kind of be more normal? I was just like, but normal people don't do all that stuff. She's like, no, I know, but, and I'm like, there's no but. Yeah, totally what you're saying, man. That relationship obviously didn't last. I can't see you, too dark. Dude, if you're here to see me, you're in the wrong place. Let's see. Put my light a little over here. But I'm like getting off here in a minute. I thought I was leaving in like half an hour ago, but people came up with all these questions and stuff, and interesting stuff. I need a giant spider robot to hang my laundry now. That is a good use for a giant spider robot. You're right. I didn't miss any comments there, right? Hopefully I didn't miss any. Caca, yeah. Download Afro introductions and fly your wife in, bro. It's still pure, unwesternized women that your island would be a dream compared to what their environment is. What was it? Afro introductions. Oh my God. Hey, Jaimie, what's going on, S? I'm the girl from Florida. I bet you remember me. The girl from Florida. Take a deep breath, bestie. It's going to be okay. I've spent a fair amount of time in Florida, so I know a few people from Florida. I mean, the first person I thought of. Oh, now you got me thinking. Who is this from Florida? I'm the girl from Florida. I bet you remember me. I probably do remember you, but your name is just S. So, yeah, I don't know. Is that? Oh, anyway, Will thrives, dude. Lady S from Florida, send me an email. Tell me your actual name so I can remember. Will thrives. Great answer. Thank you, man. Captain Skelebone says, anything that dulls the mind is bad for you. You are doing well. You're doing too well. It would only do you harm to partake in drugs. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, yeah, I don't want, I want to, yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, I don't want to ingest anything that's going to change my mind, that's going to make me think differently. So, for instance, I have friends who smoke a lot of weed to, deal with anxiety and help them calm down and relax and stuff like that. I don't want to need an external substance to do that. I want to be able to do that in my own head. And there are definitely times when I'll have a couple days where I'm like really anxious and stressed out and stuff. And I think it's beneficial for me to work through that and, figure it out, because then I get the mental skills to be able to handle, whatever situations come up. I don't want to have to need a thing to do it for me. Take a deep breath, bestie. It's going to be okay. Who is that? Anyway, anything that dulls the mind, right? A tip from me. Thank you, Orkama. I appreciate that a lot. Can we talk more about the desire for a woman companion? Well, I mean, there are a lot of reasons I would like a woman companion. A lot of, obviously a bunch of reasons that specifically have to do with male and female biological parts. But I don't know that this is the channel to talk about that stuff. But, just in addition to that, so often during my day, I'll be doing stuff and I'll just think, it would be really cool to have someone else here for this, for this reason or for that reason. Like, it just makes, at least to me, it makes so much sense to have two adults. I mean, even more, but like probably like two adults living in the same place to share stuff, like to share resources and to share responsibilities. Because a lot of times two people can do something way, way easier than one person can do something. And a lot of times it's not even the kind of thing where the second person has to be there all the time. Like, it might just be a situation where it's like, hey, I need help for like 2 minutes because I need my hand, like that kind of stuff comes up a lot. Or even things where it's like, I'll be out working on something and I'm like, oh, I have to go make dinner. If I had another person here, they could make dinner, or we could both be out working on stuff and we could, rock, paper, scissors for who goes to make dinner. I'm always happy to make dinner. But, it's just a lot of things like that. Like, it doesn't take any more time to make dinner for two people than it does for one. And I think that basic concept broken down to its most basic parts is a lot of the reason why living together with people is good. And also, like, I don't know about you guys, but I am very inspired by women. Like, if there's a woman around who I respect and care about, I am very inspired to work hard. Like, it is very motivating for me. And I think a lot of guys, I think that's generally the way we are, but a lot of people are kind of pretending that's not the way it is because, it sounds like you're weak. Like, you need a woman to motivate you. Blah. No, I have plenty of, what's the other thing? You got motivation and you also have, dude, I've been talking too long. I'm running out of words now. What's the other thing? The dedication that makes you do stuff. Like, you can make yourself go through with stuff. Well, I'm just going to call it dedication. So, like, motivation is superior because you don't really have to focus on it. So if you're like feeling really motivated, you can do lots of stuff, right? But if you don't have motivation, then you have to fall back on your your dedication. Oh, there's a word for this. I'm gonna feel like an idiot when I remember it. But like you have to fall back on your dedication and like force yourself to do it. But that's not as good, because when you're motivated, you can do more, and you're more relaxed, and you don't have to focus on self-discipline. Discipline, that's the word I'm looking for. Discipline. So there's a difference between having motivation and having discipline. And when you have motivation, you are freed up from having to think about self-discipline. And that is a hugely valuable thing. And I and a lot of other guys feel very motivated when there's a woman around that we care about. You know, this goes back to like when you were a little kid and there'd be like a pretty girl across the street, and you'd be like, ooh, you'd be all motivated to jump out in the yard and do some stupid tricks or whatever. Like that's kind of built into us. And like I feel stupid for not taking advantage of that. Like that's something that is like built into my DNA. Like I can just get this massive amount of free motivation with the right person just being present. They don't even have to do anything. Just their presence and me wanting to impress them. Like it gives all this free motivation, which is awesome, because when you have all this extra motivation, you don't have to worry about all this self-discipline. Because the self-discipline, you have to think about it and force yourself, and it's just not as good as when you have motivation. So that's another huge reason that I would like to have a woman around. But of course, it has to be the right woman, because if it's the wrong woman, she destroys your motivation and like is really hard on your discipline too. So like the right kind of woman can be hugely motivating, even though the wrong kind of woman can be hugely demotivating, you know. Can you get offline? I need to go to the store and get food. Go to the store and get food, Captain Skellebones. I don't want you breaking all your bones. Go eat some stuff. No, not Florida SF. Wait a minute. I'm the girl from FFL. Oh, wait a minute. All right, you Lady S. You need to send me a message where you're talking about. Oh man. Yeah, send me a message. Anyway, let's see. No, website. Send me. Would it be possible to set up an online place for like-minded individuals to meet up and brainstorm? Funny thing is, I used to have a website that had a really awesome chat room. What do you call it? Forum. That was amazing at first, and then it slowly got overrun by trolls and bots and stuff, and then it kind of wrecked it. But yeah, this is why we can't have nice things. You know, I think that's the thing to say there. This is why we can't have nice things, but we should be able to, yeah. Brown chicken, brown cow. What are you talking about? Oh, integrity. You have it, man. Well, thanks, man. All right, I'm gonna get off here in a minute. Oh, I know who you are. I'm gonna send you a message. Maybe I can make you happier. Sad. Jaimie, I find that despite being highly motivated. Oh, you mean, wait, would it be possible? Are you saying that you want a woman around despite already being highly motivated? The funny thing is, like, even when I'm feeling very motivated, like if there's a woman around that I respect and care about, like it just adds to whatever motivation I have. Like there's no downside to it. Of course, if it's the wrong woman, it's all downside, but the right kind of person it's hugely motivating. And it's just like this free motivation. It's like getting injected with steroids or something. I mean, I've never done steroids, so I don't know what that's like, but I'm back. So if I have a good guy friend around, that is definitely motivating, but I would not say it's as motivating as when a woman is around. And I think it's just like something built into my DNA, where I want to, if I'm around a woman that I care about, I want to do a good job. and for her, for myself too, but also for her. Like, it's just an additional thing, you know. It's hugely motivating. But yeah, I am also motivated if I have a good guy friend around. It's just not as much, you know. It seems it's impossible to find the right woman. Any advice? Go back 200 years? I don't know. I'm working on it. Well, yeah, it's a tough one. Finding the right person in a society that's so broken is difficult. It's really difficult. Especially if you're kind of weird, and by weird I mean not conformist. Like if you're unusual in any way, and it could be in like 100% good way, but if you're unusual, then it's just harder to connect with people, you know. Yeah, all right. Come on, let's give Jaimie your name so we all know. I know who it is now. Most men are afraid to do anything alone or solo or be self-motivated. Most men are afraid to do anything alone or solo. Really? I don't know. I feel like if you're a man, that's a big part of being a man, is that you face fears, you have courage, I feel like the core of being a man as opposed to a boy is like you will take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. Like the buck stops at you. So, and that doesn't mean you have to take care of everything or be overbearing or take everything away from anyone. But if there's something that needs to be done and no one else wants to do it, you are taking care of it. You know, like it does not get past me. I will make sure things get done. And that might mean making someone else do it who should be doing it or whatever. You know, you make sure things get done on your own, with other people, whatever it needs to be. The man in the jungle cannot give you advice on women. He's escaping everything. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Of course I can give you the man in the jungle. You make it sound like I've lived in the jungle all my life and have never met a woman. Dude, I have 7 children with 2 different women. I've had many girlfriends. I've had many relationships over the years. I've had many women in my life. Oh yeah, I have three kids that was like a donor situation. I have 4 kids that are like my kids, but the other kids know who I am and everything. Anyway, that's all beside the point. The man in the jungle cannot give you advice on women. The man who makes up weird, nonsensical stuff cannot give you advice on anything. And I'm not escaping everything. That's not what I'm doing here. If I was escaping everything, I definitely wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I wouldn't be talking to people. I would be escaping. What I'm doing here is trying to show a way of life that is an alternative that I happen to think is better, that some other people think is better. But even if you don't think it's better, like I think it's important to just say, you know, you don't have to do what the status quo is. You don't have to conform to the norm. Like you can do something else. I think that's, anyway. Yeah, I'm not trying to run away from anything. Thank you, Mr. Rusty Shackelford. You're right. Big cities have turned men into narcissist man children. Oh, shit, don't even get me started. Playing sport and on social media and video games. Yeah, okay, so like playing sports and the social media thing, that's just such a disaster. But like playing sports and video games, I think is something that's really valuable when you're young. So because you learn a lot doing that stuff, but then you grow up and you use those skills for real life, you know. And I'll still play sports and play video games once in a while, but they're not like a focus of my life at all. What WTF, Jaimie? I didn't know you have 3 more kids. What do you mean donor situation? I mean, I knew some lesbians who wanted kids, and I helped them have kids. So don't start asking a million questions. My messages keep getting broken up, Will Thrive says. Well, quit hitting the enter button or whatever it is, I don't know. Sports is genuine struggle. Well, sports is kind of like sports are like very controlled struggle, where you can definitely learn how to deal with difficulties and adversities. But when you get into real life, you find that things are not within the rules. Things are not between the lines. Like there are a lot of situations you come at that are beyond what you've learned in sports. But you know, playing sports and doing video games and stuff like that is definitely a good start for learning how to deal with situations in real life. You know, that's what I think anyway. That's epic. A whole 3-row SUV worth of Jaimie kids running around. Can you dynamite an inlet to your island? Well, I have an inlet into my island. I don't want to dynamite. There's already one there. Yeah. I guess I could dynamite one. I don't know where I'd get dynamite though. I guess I could make it, but I don't know. I gotta. YouTube keeps flagging Rusty's messages. I have not seen any from you. Rusty Shackelford, are your messages getting flagged? That's terrible. Can you tell us a joke? Oh, tell us a joke. I am not prepared with any jokes at the moment, especially since I think this is the longest live I've ever done. I usually cut it at 2 hours. All right, here's a joke. It's not a very good one to do in this situation, but knock, knock. Who's there? I leap. I leap poo. Ew, you eat poo. That's disgusting. Oh, it's the best when you tell a kid that joke in a group of kids, and then you get one kid saying, I leap poo. And then all the other kids start laughing, and they're like, what? I don't get it. I leap poo. I leap poo. I don't get it. I leap poo. Oh, this was happening one time. And like these kids were laughing so hard, they're like rolling on the ground about to pee themselves, laughing at this kid who's saying, I leap poo. I don't get it. I leap poo. Until finally he got it, and he was like, oh. Anyway. Woo, let's go. Nothing wrong with helping out a few lesbians. Oh, who's there? Yes, I did the joke. That was a good one. Thanks. Thank you. Mr. Landfill, I'm shadow banned. Does that mean you're like sort of banned? I speak too much truth. I keep getting emails from YouTube saying to watch what I say online. Can I have like an anti-shadow ban thing? I want you to be able to say whatever the hell you want. Because, whatever. You build lots of boats. You have thought about trying to build an in-ground effect vehicle. They fly, but only 10 feet above the water. I wouldn't even do 10 feet, but it requires flat surface upon which to propel the fuselage. Are you just telling me that, or is there more to the comment? Why is Mr. Landfill being so, or Mr. Landlord being so, why is Mr. Landlord being so negative? Who's Mr. Landlord being negative? I don't know. I don't know. I might have missed something. How many Democrats does it take to solve a problem? I don't know. How many? This is going to be funny. Spell out I cup, funny colors. I see UP, funny colors. Keep letting people know YouTube is messing with messages. Oh, just letting people know YouTube is messing with messages. Yeah, that's annoying. Like I don't want YouTube to auto censor people. That's super annoying. But I don't know. It is what it is. We don't know. They have never done. All right, I'm gonna get out of here and go eat my dinner. And I think this is the longest live I've ever done. Maybe not. Maybe I've gone this long at some point. Usually I cut them at 2 hours. But I hope everyone has an excellent evening or morning or lunchtime or whatever you got, wherever you are. All the people who are awake at 3 a.m., go get some sleep, unless you're doing something important, of course. Yes, Mr. Landfill, I didn't see anything negative that you did. I think you're fine. All right, I'm getting out of here. Everyone have a great whatever you got.